Alright, welcome to another Mega Man Maker Monday, and this week I'm going to be fulfilling a request somebody made to actually create a stage and broadcast it, but besides that, I'm also bringing in a special guest once again, Hannu the Hyundai Mäkinen.
Hi everybody, and thank you somebody for the suggestion.
um, yeah, so the reason I felt like, I feel like having, an additional eye on things and a hand and having a discussion would make this a little more interesting, especially since you've also built levels. So we'll just
Yeah.
go into this. And all right, just do you have any? Uh, did you, when I brought this up to you, did you have any thoughts whatsoever on like on how you want this to go, or how or any particular ideas whatsoever, or is it just
Well, no
completely
no
blank?
particular ideas really. Like I said in the other episode when we recorded on the maze one,
Hmm.
the normal thought process for me usually starts with what boss I kind of want to have in the level, but then immediately after that, the first thing that I always do with the level is like I just kind of decide. I try to decide a layout, like directions I want Mega Man to go in. Like,
Hmm.
is it going to be mostly like from left to right, or do I want there to be some climbing segments, or maybe just falling segments? Because those are kind of all that informs a lot of what I want to do with the level usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we do that. Maybe we pick a boss here.
Yeah, and the reason I kind of tend to look at the boss roster a lot these days is especially because of the other problem that I mentioned is that a lot of times I can't use the boss I want. There's so many times that I wanted to use a boss, like one from, I'm trying to think of a specific example. I think there was a boss from Mega Man 3 like I wanted to use one time, and I then realized like, uh-oh, he's not an option here, or yeah, maybe from 9 also, but yeah.
Yeah, the early ones tend to have uh less options. Oh, the early ones have more options because
Yes.
they started they they seem to have spaced it out where there were like two, or I think there were two bosses per game to start off with, and there were like for the
Yeah.
first six Mega Mans, and then they
But you know
started.
what? I think I now remember. I think I wanted to do like a level that had possibly like Solar Man or Lava Man or Magma Man. Um, and I built a whole big fucking fire level for him. And then I realized that I couldn't use him, and so I just ended up using Cut Man, and the level became Cut Man Abyss. That's actually I think that's actually one of my best received levels
I guess you
overall.
could have used Fireman.
Yeah, but it seemed too obvious, and also I wanted to use the thing is like I want the fight to be kind of interesting. I want a boss character that has like an interesting pattern most of the time,
Yeah.
and also
No.
I kind of also think about the weapon I use because you know some of these bosses are pretty easy when you even with a normal gun, the Mega Buster or Plasma
Hmm.
Gun or whatever it is called. So that's the other thing is like I always in the earlier levels, I usually gave you the option of a master weapon. So when you have a master weapon, it's kind of tells you usually in my levels that this is the one you probably should use. And then I realized, well, some of these bosses are still pretty easy even without the master weapon. So what I've actually done in a few of my most recent levels is that the bosses are immune to the plasma cannon.
Ah, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because but that's also the reason because I know some people are not good with the boss fight, so that's why I always put the energy tank in the levels
Yeah,
normally.
no, it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so since actually we're recording this on the day that my Mega Man 11 review is uploaded, so how about one of the Mega Man 11 bosses? We got Blast Man and Bounce Man. Uh,
Well, we could do Bounce Man. I think Bounce Man would make for a
all
pretty
right,
fun boss.
all right.
Yeah.
So we'll just put a pin on that. We don't necessarily have to place him anywhere yet. Um,
Yeah.
I have just hit me up with any Robot Master from any game. Just spit out first one that comes to your head.
Well, uh, well, I don't know why Bomb Man suddenly came to mind.
All right, so I'll go with Bomb Man's terrain. that was it. That was my all right. So you know what?
Yeah.
I kind of want to do like I kind of want to start it off with get out of here.
Yeah, the UI does get in the way a little bit. That's a bit annoying. Yeah.
So I thought I had it off. I'm thinking like starting off going up, kind of like Mega Man 3 Wily Stage 2. Like we just kind of have it so
Oh
that
yeah,
you
yeah. Or Sparkman's level in Mega Man 3, you also go up in that. Or oh God, what am I thinking of? The
not me
the
either.
the Ringman. Yeah, Ringman in Ringman, like for Mega Man 4, that's always the level that I first think of, a level where you go up, which is funny because like Man, you also go up. It's almost
Yeah,
entirely like vertical. Yeah,
let's keep the ladder consistent with the
yeah. The first one that you did of mine was, wait, am I misremembering? Wasn't it Ladderland?
yes, I think it was.
Yeah. Which is funny because that's the only level I think I've done where you play as somebody other than Mega Man. Uh, it's and the reason I did it was because I thought the level was too easy as Mega Man, so that's why that's why I chose Roll. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I had played as role in a previous. I'm not sure of the order now at this point. Like, but I have played a couple of role levels for
It
here,
was
and
the Flappy Bird one, wasn't it?
Flappy
Yeah.
Bird was the first one, and that one you didn't really get to play traditional level, so um, it
Yeah.
was so I didn't really feel like I got used to roles mechanics too much.
Yeah, and you remember in that level, I also gave you the sorry if you heard a noise, my microphone just fell a little bit. In that level, like I gave you the dive bomb, not the dive bomb. What is it? The dive missiles,
Uh,
um, which actually even made, which I didn't realize until after I made the level, but actually make the level even easier. Yeah,
how that happens sometimes.
yeah. So for me, the thought process is, partly, what boss do I want to use? What's the general direction? And that's usually what I do before I put any enemies in. I usually just have a dry run of the level without any enemies, so I can kind
Mm,
of see, for instance, if I have a jump that Mega Man can't make, then I'll fix it before I get like too hung up on it, and things like that. So that's how I normally do it. I'm not saying you have to do it that way, but I'm just saying that's how I generally do it. That I kind of have a path in mind already. That all right, I would want to go Mega Man to go right this much, and then I kind of want him to climb up, and maybe he's climbing up over some kind of a hill, and maybe here there's a bunch of pits that I want him to navigate somehow, and I've kind of become a bit of a fan of dropping down to the boss door. I don't know what it is, but there's something kind of satisfying. I don't know. Maybe in my head, like I'm imagining Mega Man just doing like the the superhero landing, the one that's bad for your knees.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a Deadpool reference. If you didn't, it's okay if you didn't know.
All
Yeah.
right. So you know what? I mean, I'm kind of doing this as kind of like a getting some insight on somebody else's perspective. So
Oh yeah, sorry, and I didn't finish. Sorry.
oh
So
no,
yeah,
go ahead.
it starts with the boss, then the general direction, and then thirdly, although I usually give it a little bit of thought already, what you kind of did already when you asked me about Bomb Man is like I do give the aesthetics a little bit of a thought, um, because I've noticed it's impossible to change. If I change my mind in the middle of the level, like you know what, I don't want to use these tiles after all. Like then it becomes like a pain in the ass to start changing them after the fact. So yeah,
Right. Well, I
and as for
do I gotta say that the having the path without any enemies is interesting. I never really thought of that. Um,
yeah,
so I,
because the thing is like with enemies, it's easier because that's when you also see like, okay, am I making it pass through this area a little too quickly? Like, is there something that I should do? Because I've done that a few times where I realized like I made this corridor that I think is like this is about as far as I want Mega Man to go, and then I realized, oh wait, that corridor wasn't very long after all. Well, I'll make a little loop-de-loop for him, or maybe I'll put in a little thing that you have to climb and then slide under or something, you know. You can do little things like that to elongate the level, but you don't want to do that too many times because then it feels like, all right, now it's intentional. So
yeah. Well, that's yeah.
This is in my mind also because I just this week I finished a game called Beyond the Steel Sky. I don't think you've heard of it, have you?
No, no.
No, but it's a sequel to it came out last year, but I only now got it. It's a sequel to a 1994 point and click adventure game called Beneath a Steel Sky, and it's also a point of click adventure game sort of, but it's 3D, so you get to move around freely in the environment with like an over the shoulder camera angle. And the and I really liked it, but the number one thing that got on my nerves about it a lot was that the main character walks very slowly, like he has this very careful pace, like he's kind of like eyeing up everything around him. And then it does have a run button, but it's more like a leisurely jog. So so that was the thing, like, that got on my nerves is like you had these really big areas, and then, oh man, but the character I want to talk to is like on the other side of this like large plaza or something, and then you hit the run button, and then you're just jogging, 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 and then like 20 minutes later, like, God damn, I'm only halfway there. So so that's the thing. Like it's also because like I kind of want the level to be. I don't want to like break off, even though I do absolutely with a few levels I've done, I break it off into segments. Um, and it's good to do too because I when the first couple of levels I actually did not use the checkpoints really at all, except at the boss gate. And that's
Hmm.
partly because the levels were pretty short. But then like as I made slightly more complicated or let's say harder or dickish levels, I then realized like, okay, this would be a good spot for people to get a break, and if you die in the next segment, so you don't have to do the start of the level all over again.
Yeah, I think I always had like a I think I always had a level that was long enough to warrant a checkpoint for the most part. Unless it, of course, it was like one of those ones where it was like there was one where I had 6 mini levels and there was a boss at the end of each one. In that case, it was just like a checkpoint after each one, and then it brings you back to the main screen, kind of like the Robot Master rematches.
Yeah, yeah. I don't do that tricky thing where I make you go back to the start of the level too much. The maze level was different because it was a maze, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be kind of funny if you had this segment where you thought you were going somewhere and then you wound up at the start. So that's why I did that.
Hmm.
Um, but um, oh shit, I just blacked out completely. There was a point I was trying to get to, but yeah. But I like what you're doing right here. Um,
The one thing I
it was
realized though is I kind of wanted this to be a pit. I think I'm gonna add spikes or something because if you drop down, you're not gonna die. You're gonna just drop down to this other.
Yeah, that's another tricky part. That was actually another tricky part in the maze level too. Like I had to make sure if you fell somewhere that it was clearly telegraphed whether or not you were gonna die because I think you avoided that pit. You almost went you almost went down that dead end that you wound up in previously. Um, I think you need to have like blocks underneath it if you
Yeah,
want
you
it
know
to
what?
look like yeah.
I'm okay with them being what they are.
Yeah.
I was just like, what's happening here? As long as
Yeah,
that kills you.
yeah, these spikes. This is why I tend to use the spike balls from like the Bubble Man spike balls or the gray ones
Yeah,
myself.
that could be a little bit on the ambiguous side. So, you know what? I mean, when in doubt, just go with the
Yep.
classic.
These remind me of Minesweeper and the fact that you did Minesweeper
Oh yeah, that's true. They
uh,
are
for
very.
Wildcard Wednesday. Yeah, and it was so funny because it was actually very good because I was working on that Shira video at the same time where Hordak told them to bring the Mind Sweeper because he was trying to figure out who Orko was, and then I got to use and I really wanted to use footage of like classic Minesweeper. And because the current Windows 10 one doesn't look anything like the old Minesweeper, like that it's gonna look pretty awful. So you luckily contributed to that Shira video, so
All right, I'll
thanks for
take
that.
it. You're welcome.
Yeah, no, it's always good to have little resources like that. It's And yeah, it's also it's opened up my eyes a little bit because I've noticed that there's a lot of these days. If I have like a video, I don't know if you saw my video on the beat 'em ups or beat 'em up games or something like that, but it's like sometimes it's hard because I want to talk about a specific game, but then I don't have it, and I don't want to go even though I used to do that when I was younger, I don't want to go online looking for emulation websites, not because of any moral reasons, but because I just don't want to get malware. I've just become so paranoid of that. So, so luckily I found these websites these days. There's a lot of them that allow you to play those retro games. They're still not legal, but they allow you to play it in a browser, and that's almost as good. So, when I used Final Fight, yeah, I needed footage of Final Fight. So luckily I found a website that ran like I think the SNES version of it. No, maybe it was the arcade version. I don't remember. But anyway, there's a website that allows you to play like a bunch of games Oh yeah, and I used that same one when I did the puzzle games video like a little while later and had the Cleopatra Fortune. Yeah,
Cool.
because I needed. That's an obscure ass game. But I like it. But I like it a lot. So I really wanted to show it off. All right, you're putting gate here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. I mean, I'm really. I don't want to make the level too long. It's just really a demonstration. Oh wait, these screens should not be connected.
Yeah, that is something that when I test run, that's the other thing that it allows me to see is if I want there to be that where it stops and then rolls the screen as opposed to just being a straight what do you call it, kind of smooth transition, like when you're going through that whole big corridor. And it's also made me like appreciate enemy placement. Like you really want the enemies to be in a place where they'll because there's a lot of things you don't see when you're just building the level, like if you get hit and there's a certain spot where an enemy's supposed to spawn, and then if you get hit by an enemy and you get knocked back far enough, then the enemy respawns.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's it's funny. That's what playtesting ends up doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna do a quick run through here. Do you have anything you want to add, or I mean, obviously this is just like you said, the path.
I mean, not right now. I don't think anything. Like I'm curious to see the dry run
All
of the
right.
level right now.
All right, so they gave us
Yeah,
well,
this
these are the
is
first
Wily Fortress 2 level.
Wily Fortress 2
theme,
level,
isn't it?
yep.
Exactly what we were talking about.
Well, it wasn't the same game though. I was talking about all right, I already see where. No, never mind.
Oh no, this is the Mega. Sorry, yeah, I'm thinking about the wrong games. Mega Man. This is the Mega Man 3 Wily.
Mega Man. This is yeah. This is Mega Man 1 Wily. But
is it? Oh
yeah,
it is.
the
Okay,
first
sorry,
two stages.
I'm terrible with the Fortress level recognizing them.
Yeah, they tend to sometimes they get
this is
mixed up.
mostly Mega. Yeah, besides the bomb bats, like this is mostly a Mega Man 1 assets.
I put him up top just to like a reference to our cartoon. Have him floating.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
That's not a pen weapon here.
I don't have the charge.
Yeah. Right, he's not too tough. You haven't down to half health and you have the energy. So.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost forgot that I even put one there. Oh, here comes his crazy attack.
Yeah.
I do like the 8-bit
like,
conversion.
I was complaining about the bosses actually, but I actually do have to give the game. One thing that is nice is that they have, I think, almost all of the enemies from all the various Mega Man games. So you can actually, that's really nice that you do have a lot of enemy variety.
Yeah, and that's something that has definitely increased over the months and, well, years at this point. The game's a couple years old. Wow, that one came down to the wire.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty decently challenging boss fight, I would say.
Yeah, but we probably ought to give him a weakness, just so
Yeah,
that
yeah, definitely. Uh, all right, but yeah, when you put in enemies, well, you put in the bomb bats
yeah, the bomb
already.
bats can stay. That's fine.
Yeah,
So
and
something
I think you could
here.
put a couple more like later in, so that would be nice.
Oh, like just to yeah, so that way it's like a theme, not a theme, but like have some repeated enemies scattered.
Yeah,
Um,
and some variety of Joe would also probably be nice for like on the platforms and stuff, so you can't like just directly climb onto them.
yeah, like
Like,
maybe well, I mean, I don't want to put him in the in the armor. That we just want to kind of have him hanging out.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, there's always the Mega Man. It's funny they don't have the Mega Man 1, excuse me, version of Joe. They do have the Mega Man 2 one, and I think
Yeah,
there's another one. Yeah,
that's
Mega Man 8. The Mega Man 8 version is on here
they have
too.
the 8. Don't they have a 7 version as well? No, oh,
It's
that
well,
was just me.
yeah, it's not it's not available in here. See, yeah, there are definitely still quite a few
There's a
that they
10
have
version,
to
yeah.
that they haven't added yet.
And actually, the Hammer Joes are pretty. The Hammer
Oh,
Joes and the Crystal Joes are pretty good for that as well because
yep.
you can't attack them. But it gives like the thing is like it has there's a timing and a pacing that you have to kind of get used to. Yeah.
Yeah. So something
Yeah.
here should probably be like an aerial enemy.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Like I was suggesting the bats, but like serious, but it's a good idea to have aerial enemies. I noticed though a lot of air enemies you can kind of kill with just one hit.
hmm
So that's kind of something.
Well, maybe something like the dragonfly.
Yeah, that could be a good one.
Why can't I change the color? It doesn't matter.
Well,
Fuck it.
I guess you have to not have it be
Oh,
selected.
you know what it was? It was because yeah, but it was I don't know if it was like my yeah, go blue. It's closer to the.
Are you just gonna leave the background just plain blue then?
No, I'm gonna change that too. If you have any
Yeah.
thoughts on that while we're doing this, I'll throw it
Oh yeah,
out there.
that's the thing I was trying to say about the spike that I usually take. I usually select the either the bubble men spikes or the gray spikes, and that's based entirely on what backdrop I'm using. Because if it's a black backdrop, then the black spike balls they kind of just disappear. You can't really see them.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, so we won't have anything dark. It won't be black. It won't be like night
Yeah,
scale.
either that or we can just go back and change them for the gray ones after the fact. But that's something that those kinds of little things are easy to change. It's harder to change like something like like we said like the tiles that you're walking on.
hmm So I think I want to put this guy here because he'll be attacking from all directions, including vertically. I'm
Yeah,
like my OCD's killing me right now because I used an odd number of tiles, so you can't put him in the middle directly.
yeah,
I
that's
I could always
yeah,
do
that's something
this,
where you have to make a decision.
but now here it's not even with the bottom, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Um, at first I wanted this to kind of like be another option to run on, but I made it way too high. I wasn't really, I don't know, I was just kind of like throwing this together, obviously,
yeah,
not really thinking about my jumping ability is not quite there yet to reach
yeah.
this
I
platform, so
sometimes
I'll do this
do those
instead.
kinds of platforms with the that you can maybe reach them with either a rush item or the disappearing reappearing blocks, which is
Hmm.
funny. I've noticed that I now use those. I really hate the disappearing reappearing blocks
Yeah,
in
who
a normal
doesn't?
Mega Man game, but I've noticed that they're very handy for allowing you to give a little bit of a timing thing if you want to take like an alternate route through a level. And I also do that with pits a lot. Like I don't make very complicated combinations of them. I do keep them simple, but that's something.
Yeah, because you
But
hate those
yeah,
trial and error factor of like where the one that's gonna show up overhead and there's no way for you to see it coming on the first
yeah,
try and it spikes underneath it. And it's like fuck
yeah.
off.
But if you want to keep it like that, that you can't reach him, meaning that you can't kill him, that's fine as well. Like, then we don't have to fix that thing that you can't really go up there.
Right.
Yeah.
So where did you let's try the Hammer Joe.
I
Was this the
like
area that you're talking about, or the next one?
well, the sniper. I mean, the Joes are usually just good to have like on the edges of platforms and
Yeah,
things.
so maybe right here.
Yeah, that would actually be like a perfect position. Like it would put a little bit of pressure on you. I don't know if that guy up there can like get you if you're on that lower platform.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, because
When I was saying about the bombats, like I was saying like maybe put them a little bit further into the level because the end of the level doesn't have any enemies yet. So, but yeah, it's whatever whatever you want to do is fine.
well, maybe we throw a bomb because I'm not sure now that I think of it if you might be right that that his bullets might just bounce off the floor, but I want to say that they do go. I don't know. You might be right. Yeah. If that's the case, we'll just nix him because I don't think that he's much of a threat um, from over here. You know what? I think his bullets are gonna hit the ceiling. Let's take a layer off the top. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that might be a
And you could
problem.
we could just like very quickly check. You could just put Mega Man on the platform on the left so we can
Oh yeah, yeah. Do
see him in
a
action
quick.
right now and see what happens.
Alright, so I can whip out the bomb. Alright, so he can reach me.
He can
And
reach you
yeah,
there,
and
yeah.
he's got
And
no. Yeah.
here,
Oh no, he can.
no,
He
no, he
can.
can reach you.
All
Okay,
right,
yeah.
that's what that
Actually,
was
yeah,
my initial thought, but
this will
yeah.
work. This will work. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't think we need the bomb bat. Also, the bomb bat's like so slow. You can't escape from this by just pressing escape.
Yeah, I don't know why I wanted to kill myself. It's just like this will be fun, but it's like yeah, I'm just gonna restart. It's not gonna take me back to the editor. Anyway, so I mean, do you think the bat is too much, or you actually because
Well,
this is
I
a
think the bat is kind of pointless now because he's just kind of there. So I didn't really think about it, but you were when it started the screen was centered where
it
Mega
was
Man was, and you
yes,
just took out the bomb bat without like without it putting much of a fight.
but
So it's kind of just
wa-
a pointless enemy there.
well the one thing
Yeah.
I'll say is that it prevents you from leaping quickly to this and avoiding your attack. You have to stop and take out the bat and uh meanwhile, you have to keep your eye on this guy's attack. If
Well, yeah,
he's
if you want to
gone,
keep it like that, but I think you did the bomb bat die from one or two
it was
hits?
2 hits.
Oh yeah.
Because it was the by default, I think they used the difficult version of Mega Man 2 since that's really the default. On difficult, it
Yep.
takes 2 hits to kill him.
Yeah.
And I think in Mega Man
But yeah,
4 when he shows
I
up, same
mean,
thing.
if you want to leave him there, like that's fine.
All right, we'll leave him
I
for
was
now.
I was maybe thinking maybe we could put him all the way up to the ceiling, so you can't really hit him until until you're been in this area for a little while. It puts
Oh,
bit more pressure on you.
all
So maybe
right.
like
Let's do that. Let's swap spots and
yeah, that
because
was
then
just
yeah,
a
because at this point you have an option. You can either try to bum rush it and get through to the Hammer Joe before he can hurt you, but then you're in a position where you're fighting off all three of them at once if you take too long to kill them. So,
yeah yeah
or you can stay back and try to just take out the Joe from over here, but then and then the bat when he eventually gets to you. Because you can't. The one thing that's I do like about this guy up here and having him out of reach is that you can't kill him with the regular cannon. It's like you're
yeah.
at least I don't think you can reach. I don't. I think that I can probably get up to like this tile right here.
Yeah, I was looking at when you were playing. Like, I don't think you can go that high. Yeah.
Right. So something's got to be guarding this E-tank. Originally, I was thinking like that this slide over here was going to be a little more challenging to reach, but it's close enough to where you don't really need unless I do this. But that might be.
Did you just jump? Wait, how far is the platform on the right?
Uh,
Oh, there is no
there
platform.
is
Yeah,
no.
you
This
just
is
have to go in there, get it, and
get
come
it and
back
come
out.
back.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because I was actually thinking this would be a good place for the bats. So it would like put a little pressure on you to do it quickly. Although I don't know, we should probably test it, like see how fast do they get to you, or if you could just. Oh yeah, there's spikes down here. Okay, yeah,
yeah, the spikes are going to be a threat on their own.
yeah,
We'll do some of this.
yeah. I do a lot of those uh, rush flight segments in my levels where there's like a big empty space that you have to fly over. And I
Mhm.
noticed when I put in a lot of enemies that like can follow you, like if you do, I noticed that a lot of times if you don't give it, if you don't take them out, they'll just keep following Mega Man until you eventually reach the end. So you're gonna have this parade of enemies behind you.
Let's see. Because what I want to do is have something. Well, there probably I want to have something up here and something down here, or like
Yeah, it
above,
would
like
probably be a good idea to, yeah, put
uh,
something at the end. Although when there's something at the end, uh, like if there's something standing at the edge, like there might be that little what am I trying to say? Temptation of just taking a hit and then like phasing through the enemy that's at the end. So there's
well,
that as well.
we
So
could always
yeah,
have it be a little like something like this guy, where I mean, yeah, you can do that basically, but it's not gonna I mean, really, there's no other way to go. I don't think there's any way to avoid that unless I mean, unless we put a ladder going up and then dropping down, so that way you pretty much you were forced to fight him. We can back this up a little bit. Have a like I guess an enemy here that you're forced to fight, and then a ladder to climb up, so that way you because if you're climbing, if you take the hit, keep going, climb, then he's gonna keep attacking with his cannon, unless we just go with a whole different enemy entirely. I mean, that's just a thought.
yeah,
Also, or we could do something like have these guys going across and back, just to like.
yeah.
I know what it is.
That
It's
could be fun. I think I used this in my most recent level. I forget what it's called though.
such simple enemies, but they're very effective.
Yeah,
I mean, you can just wait for them, but if we have something, first off, we should have an enemy over here, like Picket Man, maybe.
yeah, yeah. That could work. Yeah,
Because well, the only thing is though, once you get past him and you're here, I mean, it's just a matter of waiting these guys out, and this is a long distance for it to travel. So once they go up, oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have one on the top and one on the bottom, so that uh, they're not just both in sync with each other, and it's just really easy to get by them. If
yeah.
this
That could work. Yeah,
if this gap is too big, then I'll just shorten it. I'll make it
yep.
so that that's the case. All right, so now moving on to down here. Something roly. You know how you had Top Man's cousin over here last week on the uh, slide maze?
Yeah, the top man's cousin, yeah, would be pretty
Something
much
like something like
either
that.
that or the iBot, whatever it is, the
Uh,
the eyeball that has the no, not the big
Not the
eye,
big
but the
eye.
well, it could be the big eye. Where we've been going with a lot of Mega Man 1 enemies, but I was thinking like the in from Mega Man 3, the singular eye that has the
Oh, the
the guy in the
yes.
first row,
Okay.
yeah,
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 just a couple of them.
yeah. It's like when I did the first couple of levels. Well, actually, I would say like after the first level that I did for Mega Man Maker was the Sparkman one, the
Hmm.
Spark Boogaloo. So, I was I was still being like a bit of a Mega Man purist, so I really just wanted to use enemies from Mega Man 3, and it was the Sparkman music, and Sparkman was the boss. And the only really weird thing that I did was just the area, the room where you fought Sparkman was a little bit weird.
Hmm.
Uh, but beyond that, like it was basically just another Sparkman level. And yeah, I did the alternate routes for it as well. But then immediately like the next level, which was Winter Night, I think. Yeah, so then I had like a whole mixture of enemies from mostly from Mega Man 6, but then I also picked other ones.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like that too in my early levels. I was keeping it. I think my first one was an Airman themed, and it was the same thing. It was the Airman music, Airman tiles, Airman background, Airman enemies. I think the one thing that was different was I included the platform. These guys, in because they didn't have, and I don't know if they do yet, the thunder throwers in the clouds.
Oh yeah, the
So
the
I had
lightning guys. Yeah.
lightning. Yeah, they can't throw sound. What am I talking about? Um,
Are you
you
sure
know,
they're not here? If you roll the because it goes down a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, yeah, okay, they're not
they're
here.
not.
Okay.
But at the time, it was early. They definitely weren't there when I made the level because, well, they obviously didn't because they're not here now either. But there were a lot less enemies to choose from at the time, and
Yeah.
that definitely wasn't one option. I think I'm gonna put another Hammer Joe here.
Yeah. I'm always very tempted because I don't know. There's something about the Mega Man 3 enemies, like the boss. The thing is like when it comes to the boss roster, like the most iconic one is the Mega Man 2 boss roster for me. But there's something about the Mega Man 3 enemies. They're just very like pleasant looking. I just like using. Maybe that's the wrong word, but yeah, there's just something about them that I just really like using them.
They do have a good enemy roster of regular enemies.
Yeah.
You know, while I was doing this, I think I'm gonna disconnect these two screens because if this is all flowing, you can more easily avoid him. Whereas now
Yeah.
you're forced to fight him from over here, and
Yeah,
then this
and
can.
also, if you go back to the place where the eyes were,
Hmm.
like, you're free to ignore this advice, but I would kind of want there to be one more step going up after that.
All right, so I get you.
That seems a little low for me, but it yeah.
Do you think that
Yeah.
it's maybe? Do you want me? Do you think I should move these over a little bit though, like have it more like this, and
Yeah, good.
then
Yeah, it could be. So, they'd be lower. I mean, they would be higher and you would be lower when you drop down. If you drop down.
think I should have three? Yeah, that's too much.
No, I don't think that's too much. Like these guys only take like a couple of hits
They're not that
anyways.
bad, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. It's funny though. Spark Boogaloo, the start of Spark Boogaloo probably has the buggiest segment of with one of these guys, where you actually have to kind of bum rush it in order to get to him in time, in order to hit him, because the platform that he's on a lower level, and you can't shoot at him from the level where you're coming in from at the start of the level. That was a little weird thing that I for some reason decided to leave in. I thought that it would make the level a bit more challenging, like letting you know that, yeah, this is the kind of bullshit you're gonna have to get prepared for. But yeah,
So yeah, it's funny how sometimes you leave in shit like that. That's more or less an accident.
yeah. Although, yeah, one other thing I do have to say, you played Sparkly Water, and that's really the only water level that I've made that I've been happy with, because I did another one with Toadman, and I started because I thought it would be fun to make an actual pure water level that is like where you fight Toadman at the end. But I actually ended up taking that level out, and it's because I realized there was one huge. I made it. It was another big level with two alternate routes that you could take, and one of the alternate routes had a problem that I didn't actually realize until I was playing it through, because I did play it through, but did it with just one of the routes, and yeah, it's not really possible to make a very good water level in Mega Man Maker. I don't know what it is. Like, well, I kind of know what it is. It's if you try to make, because you have to put the water texture at the top, but then if
Yeah,
you put a platform in the water, everything below the platform is not water anymore.
yeah. That's I think there's yeah. So what you do have to do at that point is make another water. You have to have
Yeah, you have to
water
make like a
tile at the
water
top.
tile, another one that
And the,
looks terrible unless you do this is something that I don't remember if I did this in any of the levels that I've done, but you can kind of make like a little dry area, like it's like an air pocket underneath if you want to do that kind of thing, but
well, you
but it
should
does feel
be.
really silly,
It should be by
especially.
default. You should be able to just make the whole thing water even after you put the platforms in. And then the
Yeah,
air pocket, it should be an optional. Like if you want to manually delete a water tile, that should be its own separate function.
yeah. Yeah, that's a little thing. But the reason I noticed that for the first time was in the Mega Man 3 bosses. Remember the torpedo fish?
Yeah.
Guys that swim under you and then shoot a missile straight up.
Hmm.
Because I was trying to do one of those levels where you had to platform underwater, but also watch out for those guys. And I had them go underneath them, and I noticed that every single time they came up to the platform I was on, they would just fall straight down. And I was like, why the hell are they doing that? And then I realized, like, oh, there's no water down here. That's why. Yeah, that's a bit infuriating. Also, these guys need a wall to bounce back off of.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of putting this guy right here.
Yeah, that's annoying because I think in like the normal Mega Man games, they just had a
They have a
route
certain
that
path.
they.
Yeah, like you should be able to have. If you wanted them up here, you should be able to just have them so that they only go. Like if I wanted a second one up here, I should just be able to go take the same
Yeah.
back and forth as him. But
Yeah,
you know,
that's annoying. There's a lot of these enemies that you think you would that would just automatically go back and forth, but no, they just then like they pick a direction and they go away and then they never come back.
yeah, that's. I will say this though, a lot of issues like that do end up getting taken care of. That's like I don't know what this update that we just recently downloaded has on it, but uh, I'm doubting that this is gonna be. Well, for one thing, I know that I can't pick a custom route because there's no I can't do anything besides place them.
Yeah.
Should be maybe there's one more something else over here, like a smaller robot, or maybe something like.
I think right now you have well yeah I was about to say that I think you have a slightly too straight of a run to the gate from here. Like I would put in like one little maybe it's just me, but I would put in like one little climb section there where you have to go up.
Oh, like
Uh,
so you get to here,
yeah, and maybe
and
put
then
an enemy up there that would pester you. But yeah, again, you're free to ignore that. You could if you want to just put the buzz saw there, like that's
well,
fine as well.
you know what? I'll leave the saw there for now. Just see how it plays out on the
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
this.
that
So
area is well, you have the fireflies in there, but and no, not the fireflies, sorry, dragonflies. But this area seems a bit empty to me. Like this is really crying out to have something in it. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
oh no, I don't even know what the hell I was gonna
Yep.
say.
Okay, sorry.
uh, I do want to put a background in now
Yeah.
though. Maybe the Bubble Man. I kind of want this has I don't I think that this is indoors because there's that was do the Flashman one because I think there's a ceiling at the top of each of these. Yeah,
Yeah, but there's Flashman backgrounds there.
Flashmans. Yeah.
These are pretty flashy. Or wait, no, these don't do the flash, do
No, it's
they?
the platform tiles.
It's
In
the
fact,
tiles, yeah, the
for
tiles,
for a
yeah.
while those tiles weren't even available in the maker, and then they put them they have them there as standalone without any animation, and then they have the ones that are uh
Flashy.
that are flashy. I think that the creators of this don't care for that sort of shit. Like they openly make fun of the Bubble Man background because of how seizure inducing it is. Like they actually changed it.
You mean
the waterfall. The waterfall,
yeah,
not
the
the yeah,
waterfall
not
back.
the indoor one, but the waterfall background.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, see they in their little description a waterfall that doesn't give you an eye seizure.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, I never really thought of it that as that big of a deal, but
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, no.
I'm thinking about like how it was in the original game because I didn't
Well,
really notice that it was darker, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, they're that's not a new thing. Like they did it. I remember from the old NES SNES manuals, they actually did have like epilepsy warnings even back then. Yeah.
oh, they did. I don't. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. You're right.
I
They
remember
did.
I have
The
oh
manuals
God,
do
I think I
have
might have
that.
misplaced it, but I do think I have my like old manual for like the manual that actually came with the console for the Super Nintendo. And yeah, every single game had that little folded thing in them that warned you about like uh, light-induced epilepsy.
All right. I think one thing is that all right. Yeah. You know what I might connect the screens, or disconnect the screens. Because the Hammer Joe does not show up until you're long since passed.
Well, yeah. Well,
I
that's
resurrected.
exactly what I noticed this too when we were testing it out, because you know it's centered on Mega Man.
Oh shit! These screens are connected.
Yeah.
I must have hit one. Yeah. See that this was not like this before. I must have hit something by accident. What the hell? These guys just despawned.
Yeah, because you have them going the other way. Yeah. Maybe you should have them near the wall and then come at you.
All right. Yeah.
So okay, we found some things to fix.
We'll get back to this screen later, because I mean, it is a little naked.
You wanted to disconnect that screen though.
This is the one that was bugging
Yeah,
the hell out of me. But yeah, I think I want to disconnect this one, because
Yeah.
and I think I want to put
at the end of this, and also at the end of this corridor, you know, the same thing happened. You know, that Octo-Eye, that one that's next to the Pickman.
Yep.
You know, he just kind of flew to the side, and he wasn't really much of an obstacle there. So.
You know, I think that I'll disconnect these screens too for the same reason. So that way it's like you're
Alright.
now you show up and you've got Pick-a-Man right in front of you, and then these guys aren't gonna, you know, just like you know, become a non-factor. I mean, well, I guess you know, we'll see if on that front. But I think that this bomb bat up here is too far away, because it wasn't until I got like I had to kind of lure him into showing up by doing a fake jump. So he's only gonna start attacking you if you're already over here. So I'm going to move him. So basically, it's like as soon as you show up, he should. I'll start a screen before. You know you know what it is? He's too freaking. He's too high.
He's too damn high.
He's too damn high. Now I don't know if you know what I'll do is I'll.
You want to give him a little perch platform?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. All right, that's because I don't want the bullets to. I don't think it matters, because his bullets go through the damn platform, so I could bring this all down.
Yeah, no, the bullets go through. Yeah, that's not a problem.
But that might be a little low. We'll see how this goes.
When you say that, that's a bit low. Like that reminded me of a joke that Al Lowe posted on his Twitter just a little while ago. It was like, how do you get a musician off your porch?
I think I've heard this before, but go ahead.
You pay for the pizza. That's a bit low.
A little bit, but yeah. I like it. Yeah, now that's a little. Because I mean, basically, you're going to be. You know what? What if I put him here? I know it's like that was where we originally had him, kind of. But like now, yeah. See, now the thing is, you have to fight him. You can't just like go straight to the Hammer Joe fight.
Yeah, that works. That works. Yeah.
Cause like yeah, so if you want to get over here, yeah, you have to go through Batty. And these guys were fine. Everything was kind of weird over here last time, just because of the screen doing its thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then, you know what? If see this guy,
we either have to put it on the other side and have him turn around, or we have to disconnect that screen as well, so he won't despawn.
Right. Put him over here.
Yeah.
one thing is you can kill those guys while they're in their cocoons, but you know, there's enough enemies here to keep you occupied.
Yeah, I think that's a very good balance. All right, that seems actually to work. Yeah, that seems to do the trick. There's a little bit of a timing thing there that you have to. You actually do that if it takes a few hits to kill the Pikman, and then you have to wait for just a smidge to get a chance to get past the octo eyes.
Oh, I actually like that. You don't see him coming. It's almost like he sneaks up on you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I think this looks pretty good. This screen though, again, it is a little naked. But what
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about the end before the door. Like there's that big empty nothing up there.
well, we could just bring we could bring this down.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Just for just to close it up a little bit, add some claustrophobia to the mix. I think that really that's all that the problem is with. I mean, because it doesn't really matter. You could have, because all you're gonna do is be able to do is climb up here anyway. So I mean, this could be, the walls could be shrunk
Yeah,
significantly.
there's the trick about these these long ladder climb segments is the fact that technically Mega Man does climb fast enough that any enemy that has a timed attack, if you just keep going, you will dodge them. And the only way you can stop that is that you have an enemy that will intersect Mega Man, or will just keep going back and forth forever. So like the Octa Eyes, for instance.
Yeah, or like maybe we bring
Or
these
Shield
guys.
Yeah. Yeah, this would also be another one. So this way you can't like just blaze through.
Right.
You actually have to wait. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the beginning and do one more. All right, yeah, see, they're right there. The bats are guilty of that. But,
Yeah, that's the thing. That's where we're basically making a decision. Like, are the enemies actually obstacles, or are they just set dressing? Because I do that sometimes. Like sometimes I will just put enemies randomly in places. Not for any reason that you actually would want to fight them, but because otherwise the room will be very empty. Like in that maze, I don't think you noticed that some of the mice were just like in enclosed areas. That you could attack them, but you could never get the power-ups that they had.
Yeah. I'm just testing right now. I'm just testing the distance. It's like just enough. Like you have to get right up to the edge and then go immediately.
Yeah.
So it's that's pretty good. I mean, we could open it up a little bit if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But then there's also this option. Oops, no. Yeah, there's that option. You can just go and die. There's the option to sneak up. But
there's always
this option. Oh yeah, you can't do that.
We here at AqualungGameReviews would like to now remind the audience that we in no way endorse suicide.
We do not endorse it, no. Even though I've done it twice today. All right, I'm gonna get rid of these.
I literally died. Yeah.
So these bats are very harmless because you can just jump up on the ladder real quick. You know what we could do though?
You could put a bunch of power-ups up there for no reason, like weapon capsules and things like.
Just tease you to.
Just to get people's Pavlovian reflexes going, because
I
noticed that about myself. Like you try to go over the power-ups even though you don't need them.
Yes, exactly. I'll do that. I go after weapon capsules. I have no weapons whatsoever.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. I think what we could do here is we could bring these platforms down some and just have it so you have to do a climb, kind of like.
Yeah, that would work too. Like I actually do like I do like the jumping things. The only reason I don't really do it more is because it's kind of, again, it kind of comes down to like just level aesthetics. Like these don't usually look very nice, but if you can be bothered to like take the time to make the platforming work, then it'll work. Yeah.
So you think like kind of like a Lekman, the beginning where you have to go from side to side, or more like all the way across, climb a ladder, go all the way across, climb up another ladder, and then you get to the main ladder.
Both work, But since it's the beginning of the level, it might feel a little like you're taking your sweet time, and you might want to put the checkpoint at the end of the climb. Then.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm gonna get rid of the bats just to open. You know what I'm gonna do is.
I kind of like the elect man jumping from side to side thing more.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Is this too high? You can get this, right? Or is that just a bit out of reach? Is it? There's a.
I don't know,
I
man. I'm
don't know,
pretty high
man.
right.
Yeah. Let's just test this out. I think this is too high. Yeah, that's too high.
Yeah.
It
It's
felt
too
like
damn high.
It's too damn high. So we'll do something like this.
Does anybody else remember the too damn high guy?
So boom, 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 ladder. All right, so I'll do this so that it's wait, I give a little bit more space in between.
Yeah, now it feels properly claustrophobic.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes I give you some room to maneuver, and then it claustrophobes up even more up here. All right, so now it's I guess yeah we can stick with the bats. The bats probably fine
Yeah,
with
the
this.
bats would be a good idea. Like, just have some
Oh
obstacle at
wait,
least here.
I do want to make this ladder a little closer though.
The rent is too damn high, guys. Also on my mind, probably because we actually do have an election coming in
Oh, do
Finland.
you?
So, yeah, it's a municipal election though. So, yeah, not a general. But I love that guy. That guy is like a meme that'll never die. At least in my heart. I couldn't vote for the guy, but if I could.
Yep, see, I got kind of panicky there. I jumped right into the hammer.
Yeah, the enemies will like really respawn really quickly.
Yep.
You know, the tragedy of this is though, you gotta make sure that this will come out like a bit later. Well, I guess it'll have been like a few weeks after this that, you know, we won't have revealed all the secrets of this level by the time it comes out.
Well, I mean, this is a demonstration for
All right.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll upload it. I don't know. I don't know if it matters.
No, I think you should upload this. Like, this is actually pretty fun, and maybe I was thinking actually another thing that we could have done is that we could have made levels for each other, and then I would have made like a video separately on my channel where I would play your level.
Well, we could still do that.
Yeah.
It's as
Well, you've done that. You've done that. I haven't.
Yeah, technically, yeah. So I could make a level, not not I won't make a video on it, but I'll make a level and then specifically for you to complete, and then
So you have done levels before. I was under the impression that you haven't.
Oh no, I did. I just never featured them on my channel or anything.
All right, yeah. I would actually be curious to just try them out anyway. So.
I forget though. I'll go back and check which ones because there are some that I've made and some that I didn't bother uploading. I didn't like them enough. Like, oh, this is fine for what it is.
I'm also in an awkward position that I don't actually remember all of my levels, and also I just recently bought a new PC, so I'm logged into my account on Mega Man Maker on this PC, but I would have to actually download my own levels on this computer.
Yeah, that's another thing. I have some. I got a new laptop, and even though I have I still have the same account. It didn't. I don't have my old levels. I still have them on my old computer, which I have to go through some hoops to even get to start up at this point. But
yeah.
So whatever. I mean, none of those are really lost. Really missed. Let's put it that way. So one other thing, all right. So I do like the idea, like just to wrap, like for the last couple things. I don't want to go to water. I want power ups. I want to throw in a couple of these, like you said, for placebo purposes.
Yeah.
Um,
Were you gonna put in a weapon weakness for
yeah, that's
Bert?
another thing is get the actual weapon. But you know what? I think maybe. Well, first off, I do want to have a checkpoint. I'll
Yeah,
put
that
this
was the other
here, so
one.
that way you can, if you come back, you can refill your weapon. Uh, and I'll put the checkpoint. Is this possible to jump to?
I'm not sure. Like
I
I
was
was about
thinking
to
like, oh,
ask.
maybe you have to like earn the checkpoint. You have to jump over the gate.
Yeah, that guy's gonna be there when the checkpoint. By the way, when you check back to this point.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's gonna be the thing. You're gonna be lured into it because like, oh, checkpoint, and as soon as you get here, this asshole's gonna sneak up on you. But I was thinking maybe you
Yeah, but
have.
he's also gonna be there every time. You if you die on the boss fight and then come
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. All right, you know what? Let's try it out. Well, first off, I'll start up here. You know, what, I'll back it up a little bit so I can kind of get the full effect of this. Fight this, the Hammer Joe. Checkpoint.
You know,
Ah!
you know
Alright,
what? I
now.
really do like the 8-bit renditions of some of the songs in this. Like the song that I used for the Spark-Free Water level, that was the Fuse Man level theme.
Hmm.
And actually, the Fuse Man level theme is also my favorite piece of music from Mega Man 11 anyway. But I actually liked it so much that I ended up using it in our cartoon. And
Oh yeah,
the
that was perfect. That was a good. All right, let's see how this works. Well, you do have a
yeah,
little bit of time, but it is a little. Maybe I'll put it up here. So you have to
yeah, that
like.
could be. But then the buzzsaw is gonna be there, so that's the other thing.
Yeah. What I was originally thinking was have the checkpoint on the other side, so you have to do a jump, which you can't reach anyway. Uh, I was gonna have it
All
so that
right.
you have the checkpoint on the opposite side. You have to jump to get to it, and then when you if you die and you come back, the weapon capsule will be over here. So you have once you're respawned, you have to jump over it again if you want to refill your weapon. But that's a little much. I'm just gonna move the checkpoint. Well, first of all, I'm gonna move that too because you can't get to it. So weapon, that's fine for there. Oh no, no, actually, I'll put it here because the whole point is to um, refill your weapon after you've fought. So after you've been defeated. So next question is what to use for a weapon. You know, I mean, it might be too easy of a weapon to hit him with, but the air shooter is. I always felt like it was way more useless than it should have been. Like there are enemies in that game that the air shooter should work against, like the bomb bats, for example. But you hit the bomb bat with it, and it doesn't work at all. And various other like the pop tops, prop tops, and other enemies that come from overhead, the air shooter doesn't work on. I think the only thing that this weapon is even good for in Mega Man 2 is against the armored sniper Joes.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That would be a good idea. Also, and also, do you want to keep the charge shot? I don't think you haven't switched it off yet.
I kind of like it without. Maybe just because I played it,
Yeah.
through the playtesting, it worked without. I don't. I think
Yeah.
most of these enemies don't take a lot of hits, so you don't really need a
Yeah.
charge shot.
Yeah. That's
Um,
actually the reason. That's actually the reason why I've chosen in my levels not to have the charge shot a lot of the times. Normally, when I play Mega Man, I use it all the time. But I've noticed that it just makes so many enemies too easy to kill. That exactly you run exactly into the problem that I was talking about. That you that you just that you can just blaze through even a lot of enemies with the charge shot a little too easily.
yeah,
So I've made a lot more levels using kind of the Mega Man 3, the Mega Man 3. Oh Jesus, what am I trying to say? Interface, yes, interface. As opposed to, yeah, because of that. Except in a few levels where I then turn off the slide because I keep sliding off platforms and killing myself.
Yeah, those are just, those are adjustments that you make throughout. Like, I mean, we didn't have any major ones like that. This was mostly about level design, but well, I mean, the whole thing is level design, but I mean, just like the particular placement of tiles, not so much big, charge shots, whether or not you slide, whether or not you have certain weapons or rush items. This was mostly, the design of the actual stage. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the Robot Master boss music. It was on the Mega Man 1 by default, which is fine because we use Bomb Man's, mostly enemies and tiles, but we also have Bounce Man from Mega Man 11. So I don't know, maybe we split the difference and have it the Mega Man 5 boss music.
Well,
Do you put a lot
what
of
does it sound?
stock
What
in?
does it sound like? I don't remember. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Like, there's one I remember that I don't like using, but I don't remember which one it is actually.
There's I mean there aren't any that I don't really like.
Yeah, the Mega Man 8 one doesn't really work
Nah,
all that well. I think
I like the Mega Man 9 one a lot.
but if you're asking my preference, like it's usually like I just prefer to use the one that is appropriate for the Robot Master.
Yeah,
format
yeah,
game.
and that's what I'm
So-
kind of I mean, we could just go straight to Mega Man 11 because it is Bounce Man. But I do like mixing and matching too. It's like there's something, I don't know. It's the same thing as, I mean, it's like the levels themselves. It's like, oh, you get a little more. It's a little more fun to throw enemies you don't see in a particular stage if you're doing the theme to a with a particular Robot Master. All right, so I'll just stick with that. We got Air Shooter as his weakness. I just want to do one more run through with it. Now that we've made all these adjustments, including the weapon. Yeah, I think this worked out pretty good having the the claustrophobic platforms.
You know what? This really reminds me of the pill bottle in Dr. Mario. I don't know why.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've made this a little bit of a pain in the ass, didn't I?
But yeah, but I think that was kind of
That was the kind of the point. Yep, that was the point.
Because that's the thing, like it's the balance. You have to kind of walk the fine balance. Like, is this challenging or is this now just dickish?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't think that was too overly dickish.
and it's also like, even though I do a lot of test running of my own levels as well, like there's still like those weird things. Like sometimes the enemies will just do something that you're not expecting them to do, and it'll like accidentally, make a part of a level a little too easy. Like
Yep.
the jump around level or whatever I named it, like has one of those. It has one of the Sniper Joes in the walker on a platform, and then just sometimes randomly it'll just jump off the platform to nothingness. And like, well, okay, I guess I don't have to worry about him now. So,
I guess I could have waited for a power up there. Alright, this is actually pretty good because it's not the most it's not the easiest or the quickest weapon projectile. So it's like you have a little bit less control over it. I'm gonna use the E-tank.
yeah, this actually looks pretty interesting.
The one thing I'm not 100% sure of. I mean, I think that actually, you know what? I like this. I think I was the one thing I was kind of questioning, and I do this every time, is whether or not the boss lair should have any adjustments to it. Like, should it just be? But I kind of like the open area for Bounce Man. He probably should bounce freely all across the room.
It's especially because of his motion, because of the way he moves. It's definitely would be that seems like the best choice. Like I do the thing like if it's a robot master that has a tendency of just like going from back and forth, and then I'll do something like, okay, well maybe there's like a big pit in the middle of the room or something like, so
Yep.
the boss is not gonna fall down there, but you're gonna have to watch out for it. I mean,
Yep.
kind of like what I did with Astro Man in that other level.
Right. There's that. You can put other enemies in the room. You can have multiple bosses at one time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options. Although, there's a fight, like you said before, fair balance between being dickish and being challenging, and
Yeah,
uh,
I don't personally like doing that. We're putting enemies or other like extra objects in the room, but I do like sometimes that to have either little platforms or pits so that you at least have to kind of concentrate a little bit. You can't just like go in just like shooting like a madman. So you have to
right.
actually concentrate a little bit. Yeah.
All right, so I think that's pretty much. I think that pretty much will do it. That's the level. What I think I will do though is I'll say I won't upload this yet. I'm going to leave this open to more suggestions. So if anybody wants to leave a comment on, any kind of adjustment suggestions. I mean, like I said, this is a short level. This is really just more of a demonstration of the process and have a collaboration. And it was good to bounce ideas back and forth and get another perspective on the whole thing, because that's something that I never, really. I've read a couple of, entries in some forums and stuff, but I never, really had a discussion with anyone. So it was enlightening to have that in this
Yeah,
episode.
and it's always nicer. It's always nicer to create stuff when you have somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah,
I
was
wish I
that
wish I wish I could do that more.
was that did you do that on purpose? Say bounce ideas back and forth when we have Bounce
Oh
Man?
no, no, that I did not. Sorry. I'm not that clever. Sorry.
Well, even by accident you were, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that wraps it up. If you have anything else you want to add to the mix?
No, no, not really. Like, I'm sad that I won't get to play this in a while because you're gonna have to wait for suggestions now. But but the level looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that'll do it. So, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.